Hey guys, Will West here. You might have heard about Coinbase planning to go public pretty soon, and you might be wondering, would it be a good idea to buy Coinbase stock? After all, cryptocurrencies are booming and it makes sense that the same would happen to stock of the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. I wondered about this myself and came to a conclusion that I will not be buying Coinbase stock, and in this video I will explain to you 3 reasons to support my decisions. Make sure to watch until the end of the video, as I will tell you what I believe is a good alternative instead and why. If it's your first time here, I'm Will West and I just want to find the truth about the world and life to make better investment decisions. If you're also a truth seeker, then would it be ridiculous for me to ask you to gently tap on that big red subscribe button and the bell? It costs nothing and you will get notified of any new videos. I try to be as objective and unbiased in my videos, as I strongly believe that is the best way to make the smartest financial decisions. In this video, I'm assuming that we are making a long-term investment and not trying to time the market. I'm not saying that Coinbase stock won't increase in its price. I'm just evaluating the potential risks and better alternatives. I also assume that success of Coinbase pretty much depends on how successful cryptocurrency market is as a whole. I also assume that Bitcoin is the leader of cryptocurrency market, both as a first mover and most established among all cryptocurrencies. It is true that Coinbase makes most money of trading fees, which means that they will make money no matter if Bitcoin is at $1,000 or $10,000 or $100,000. However, were Bitcoin to crash and stay that way, over time investors and speculators alike could simply lose interest in this asset. That would lead to less trading activity and less profit for Coinbase. So I think it's fair to conclude that Coinbase will succeed as long as Bitcoin maintains popularity and is actively traded. But despite that, I still have my hesitations about buying Coinbase stock, and here are my 3 reasons why. First of all, Coinbase has its weak spots even if cryptocurrencies continue to grow in popularity. One of these weak spots is the simple fact that Coinbase has many competitors: Binance, Bitstamp, Kraken, Gemini, to name a few. Sure, some of these competitors don't offer services to the citizens of the United States, but still there is nothing preventing new players from entering the arena who would do just that. Coinbase doesn't really have a large enough moat and enough unique advantages that would make it outshine all the other cryptocurrency exchanges and brokers in the space. And eventually, what prevents Fidelity or Charles Schwab starting a cryptocurrency exchange? If the cryptocurrency market expands with time, it's safe to assume that Coinbase will be getting more competitors, not less. That means the exchange business will become even more competitive. I personally just don't see Coinbase as a unicorn. If you have any reasons to believe it is, then please write them down in the comments. Since I just want to find the truth, I'm always open to new ideas and new information. So rip me to shreds and tell me why I'm wrong and why you feel like that. Now, let's continue to the second problem. The second issue is that Coinbase, like any other digital service, could be vulnerable to attacks. After the recent Twitter incident coordinated by a 17-year-old, why would Coinbase be safe? Sure, they might employ the best security practices and the best specialists in the field, but even other secure exchanges like Bitstamp and Binance have been hacked before. If we are planning a long-term investment, then we should really also realize that on a long enough time frame, it's not unreasonable to assume that this is a potential vulnerability. And as cryptocurrency market grows, the incentives for bad guys to target exchanges will become more lucrative, not less. With artificial intelligence soon being able to replicate human voices and faces on video, social engineering attacks will become more and more common. And cryptocurrency exchanges will be standing at front lines as potential targets, since the bad guys seem to absolutely adore the non-reversible transaction nature of the cryptocurrencies. You could argue that cryptocurrencies themselves are really likely to be stolen somehow, extorted, or taken from you. Sure, that's true, but when someone gets their Bitcoin stolen, the whole market does not drop as a result. However, if, or more like when, Coinbase suffers such an attack, how will it reflect on its stock price? Do you see what I mean? And as a small side note here, if you want to protect yourself from these kinds of attacks, there are some basic things you should be doing at all times to safeguard your money-related accounts. My first video was on this particular topic, and the card of the video should appear somewhere on the screen right now. Feel free to check it out after finishing this one. Now, let's get on the third and final argument, which also involves an assumption. Maybe this won't apply to all of you, but I assume that people will buy Coinbase stock for three main reasons. First reason, it will pump, the number will go up. That's the entire reason. Pretty much short-term speculation. I really have no issues with short-term speculation, but I don't see it as investing, and we're talking about investing in this video. The second reason is if you believe that Coinbase will somehow outcompete all the other exchanges, outperform returns of cryptocurrency market as a whole, and remain dominant for years to come. I don't think all of those will come true, but if you believe that is the case, please let me know in the comments why. Final reason could be investors who want exposure to cryptocurrency market without the whole hassle of buying actual cryptocurrencies. If you belong in the last group and want to mirror Bitcoin performance in your 401k, IRA or stock brokerage account, then take a look if they offer GBTC ETF from Grayscale Investments. Now, it's not an ideal solution, it's not really Bitcoin futures ETF or something like that. GBTC fee is staggering 2% per annum. But it's the best one we have right now in terms of ETFs. And soon we might have a cryptocurrency index ETF from the same company Grayscale Investments in case you are interested in indexing cryptocurrencies. I personally would not be buying those, but at least they're focused on the underlying commodity. That means that they would be better at mimicking cryptocurrency market fluctuations in form of an ETF than a centralized Coinbase stock would, for instance. And now, finally, what would I suggest to do instead? I'm not a professional investment advisor, I'm no CFA or anything like that. I'm just trying to find the fundamental truth and come to conclusions that make logical sense. First of all, let's see what makes Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies special in general. Well, they are mostly renowned for their decentralized nature. But why is this important? Because it leads to censorship resistance and inability to reverse transactions. Cryptocurrencies are all about being first of its kind decentralized assets that cannot really be confiscated, well, at least not in theory. If that feature is of interest to you, and if you think that that is why you would want to include cryptocurrencies in your portfolio, then by holding Coinbase stock instead of Bitcoin, or another cryptocurrency of your choice, you are losing these censorship-resistant properties. Even if you want exposure to crypto markets for the purposes of diversification, then it still makes more sense to buy actual cryptocurrencies instead of Coinbase stock, since that would make your portfolio more diversified. Even holding Bitcoin alone is being more diversified in risk than holding Coinbase stock. By buying Coinbase stock, one would increase risk while not necessarily increasing potential returns. And that is why I believe that by holding the cryptocurrencies directly, one would benefit from the upside of the cryptocurrency boom without being exposed to centralized risks that a cryptocurrency exchange like Coinbase might face. You might argue that, well, I don't really care about the long-term potential of this market segment or diversification. I just want to make money on the inevitable IPO pump. And honestly, I think there's no problem in that belief. If you are really confident in your ability to time the buy and sell points on this wild hype ride, then it makes logical sense for you to do so. Just remember that when dealing with extremely speculative assets for short-term trades, you have to be right twice, when buying and when selling. And honestly, some part of me believes that Coinbase stock will most likely pump as the cryptocurrency market as a whole keeps going up, and as long as Coinbase IPOs during this hype. Same way that Nikola Corp kept pumping with the whole Tesla hype, while not even having an actual product. However, I personally would see it as a short-term gamble and not as an investment, and this channel is all about invest with Will West, not speculate on IPO pumps with Will West. Again, if you disagree with me at any point, please write down in the comments why. I will read and reply to every single one and would love to learn any new contrary opinions. And now let's recap the three main arguments I have against buying the Coinbase stock. First of all, it's just not competitive enough and doesn't really have a monopoly. Not much prevents new competitors from entering the space. There is not enough moat. Secondly, potential security compromise is an added risk and something unexpected that can happen at any time. In terms of ETFs, there are potentially better alternatives that mimic price of Bitcoin, instead of relying on performance of a single exchange. And as a solution, it seems that holding Bitcoin or a basket of cryptocurrencies of your choice would be a better alternative for long-term crypto market exposure than holding the Coinbase stock. And there you have it. If you're still with me, thank you for watching this far. It truly means a lot to me. I'm just getting started with this whole YouTube thing, and I appreciate any feedback, no matter if it's positive or negative. So if you know someone who would find my opinion interesting, please send this video to them. I'd love to know what they think of these arguments. Thank you for watching. This has been Invest with Will West.